Welcome back. I'm the Virginia Creeper. This is another Hope on a Rope production. And have you ever wanted to smoke ribs but you didn't have a smoker? Today I'm going to show you how. So you may not have access to a smoker, but I bet you have access to a gas grill. And as long as you have that and one of these, you can smoke like a pro. This is a smoke tube. And what you do with this is you fill it up with pellets that you would typically use in a pellet grill, and this will give you about 5 hours of smoke time, which is a lot. Even for a long smoke, this is a lot. So you use those, and you use these. These just happen to be what I got at the big box store. Today we're going to be smoking country style ribs. You can smoke any type of rib that you want, any style. St. Louis, baby backs. I really like the country style ribs. So I'm going to show you what we do from start to finish to turn your gas grill into a smoker for some delicious ribs. So these are country style ribs. And if you're not familiar with country style ribs, what they actually are is a cut from the Boston butt. These ribs are thicker, meatier than actual ribs. They don't come from a rib, they just call them that. So they take the Boston butt and they cut it into pork steaks. The steaks will be about yay big, and then they slice those steaks into what's called ribs. So you'll have 3 different muscle groups, sometimes 4, in the actual rib itself, which gives tremendous flavor. I love these ribs better than St. Louis or baby backs. These are my favorite. So what we're going to do is get these started with a dry marinade right now. So get yourself a disposable foil pan. This afternoon we'll put the ribs in the refrigerator, let them sit overnight. Tomorrow I'll show you how to incorporate the smoke tube with your gas grill, and you'll be smoking like a pro. With these ribs you don't need a binder. Since we're going to let them sit overnight, this rub will adhere really well to these ribs. And that's it. That's the last rib. I'm going to make sure, but don't throw this pan away. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. We're going to use it in a few ways. So it's been raining on and off for about 2 days, and it's expected to rain all day today again. So it's been a lovely wet weekend. I decided to smoke some ribs today. Yesterday we put a dry marinade on the ribs. They've been sitting in the refrigerator overnight. I have them out on the counter, coming up to room temp now. But I'm going to show you how to take your smoke tube and get your grill fired up and get it up to temp. We're going to smoke these country ribs at 275. As long as you're between 260 and 275. It's a pretty quick smoke at a high temp, but it really works well for the country style ribs. If you're doing any other kind of rib, back ribs or St. Louis, you want to drop that down to about 225. But with the country style ribs, I find 275 is the sweet spot. So I brought the temperature up on the gas grill to about 275. I've scraped the grates. Next we want to take our smoke tube. Now we filled this with pellets up to about right there. That's going to give us about 4.5 hours of smoke time. If you don't have one of these, get yourself one. This thing's just great to have around the house. But this will fire these up. You can light these pellets. And again, these are the pellets. They're just your typical pellet grill pellets. I believe I have competition blend in here, which is a blend of different hardwoods. But we're going to get this. We're going to get this lit. Once they get lit, they burn forever, but they take a minute to finally get lit. Once you get a flame coming out the top, you're going to let it continue to burn for about 2 minutes. So we got our flame going. As long as you can see a flame burning, we're gonna let it go for about 2 minutes, and then we can lay this over on its side, and it'll continue to produce smoke. We just want to get it going really well. That's what you want to look for, a nice flame burning at the top. I got these smoke tubes, I believe, on Amazon. I got 2 of them for, I don't know, $15. They're stainless. I've had them for years now, which is really cool. So we're gonna let that burn for about 2 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how we do the ribs. Okay, this has been burning for about 2 minutes, maybe 3. And as you can see, the first layer of pellets are nice and black. That means they're lit. So all you do is, I'm gonna have this burner on the left is going to be the only burner that's lit. You take your smoke tube and you blow it out. We don't want any flame to it. And we're going to set that over here on the right hand side. And as you can see, we are making tons of smoke. Now we're going to take those beautiful ribs that we dry marinated and let sit overnight. And I like to put those up here on the top rack, but I don't want them near the flame. So I'm going to keep them right here, kind of in the middle. They can be touching because they're going to shrink up. And this pan, once again, we're going to set right underneath these ribs, because as they cook, they're going to render out a lot of the moisture, a lot of the fat. So we're going to catch most of that. Plus, we're going to add a little bit of water just to keep things from drying out too bad. But that's how we're going to get these going. Now that we have the ribs on, we're going to let these cook for about 2 hours. We've got one burner on, smoke's offset over to the side, the ribs are pretty much in the middle. The last step we have to do is anywhere there's a large hole in your gas grill, normally there's one for the rotisserie and there's a few in the back, we're going to take some good old aluminum foil and we're going to stuff it in any of the larger openings. That's going to keep our heat in as well as keeping the smoke in. So you can just ball it up. Aluminum foil is great for packing, and we're just going to get it in all the holes. That's just going to slow the smoke down from getting and escaping, as well as keeping our heat. So on this grill, we only have 3 holes to worry about. Everything else is below. You don't really have to worry about anything that's below the cooking surface, because that, heat rises, so we don't have to worry about that. But anyway, we're going to step back, let this go for 2 hours, and then I'll show you how we get them braising. Okay, so it's been 2 hours. The ribs look great. There's a little bit of liquid in the pan, as you can see. You can see we're still smoking really good. The ribs have some beautiful color. We're about halfway there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the liquid in this pan and I'm going to get rid of it. And then I'll be right back. So now comes the second step. We're going to take our pan that we've emptied the liquid out in, and we're actually going to place the ribs right in the pan. These should all fit. They've shrunk a little bit because they've lost about 20% of their moisture. Get them in here. It's okay if they're touching. This is the braising process. Take about 1/3 of a stick of butter, cut up. We're just going to try and get one on each of the ribs here. I don't really add anything else to them at this point. Cover it with some foil. We want it to be airtight so we can braise them. We can leave the smoke going. No sense in putting it out. It's not going to add any more smoke flavor to it, but we want to get our temperature back up to 275 where it was. Now we're going to go another 2 hours and let that cook. It's been 2 hours. since we put them in the package brace. You can see the smoke tube still going. It's been 4 hours. And that thing is just about to the end. So with it almost full like that, you get close to 5 hours of smoke time. Be careful when you remove this. The steam doesn't burn you. Ooh, they look good. Alright, so the next step is you got to be really careful because these are super tender at this point. And you do not want them to fall apart on you. But instead of placing them on this upper rack, we're going to place them directly on the grill. This is a thick one here. It's a 2-boner. Most of this liquid in here isn't the butter that I put in, it's the actual drippings from the rendering of the ribs. Oh, it's falling apart pretty good. Man, these look so good. I wish you could smell them. Delicious. All right. So we're going to pull that off and let that chill down. There's a couple small pieces in there that I'm going to get to have as a chef snack. All right, so I have some of my favorite sauce here. And we're just going to coat these up real good. At this point, the color is amazing on these ribs. What I'll do is I'll get this side completely coated. I'm gonna let them cook for about 20 minutes, and then I'll flip them over. Probably not 20, probably closer to 10. We'll do 10 minutes, and then we're gonna flip them over. Sauce the other side. So we'll flip them over, sauce the other side, let them cook another 10 minutes. What we're trying to achieve is a temperature of about 205 to 210. So somewhere right in that range. So let's let these cook for another 10 minutes. So they have been going. I bumped the heat up. They've been going for about 10 minutes. What we're looking for is an internal temp around 205. We've got a little ways to get there. Got a little ways to get there. Okay, so I'm going to flip these over and sauce the other side. And then they're going to cook. Ooh, that one's kind of falling apart. They're going to cook for another, I'd say 15 or 20 minutes. And then they should be done. Gotta be careful. Just lost a piece. Be gingerly with them. So let's sauce up this side. Who doesn't like watching ribs get sauced? I like my sauce to be a little tacky. If you like a more wet sauce, then sauce them right at the end. They're your ribs, do them your way. They look really good. Okay, I've saved the pan, went and dumped it out, cleaned it out. So we'll use that same pan to put them right back in, take them in the house. But bump the heat up a little bit over on this side. And still offset cooking them. We don't want any direct heat on these ribs. Move them away from that. I got these 2 burners going on a medium, trying to get it up to around 350. Let's give that another 15 minutes and they should come up to temp. Okay, so these have rested, and here's the big reveal. So as you can see, they're super tender. The smoke ring goes pretty much all the way through because they're so tender. They're pretty much fall off the bone, so can't wait to eat them. So there you have it. Hopefully you'll give it a shot and see how easy it is to turn your gas grill into a smoker with just those smoke tubes, some pellet, and a little bit of foil. I'm gonna go eat now because I'm hungry. Been smelling these ribs for the last 5 hours, and on this nice rainy day, it's about the best thing to do. Let's just eat. All right, I'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining me. If you like this, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'll see you later.